I'm 49 years old, and I've been suffering from hair loss actually from a very young age. I had both my grandfathers and my father that suffered from hair loss. They lost all of their hair by the age of 35. And when I was very young, when I was actually in my teens, I started taking minoxidil when it first came out. I might have been around 18 at that time. Then shortly thereafter, I want to say about around 24 years old, I started taking finasteride. I'm very excited to be here. This is a very surreal feeling, very surreal experience. I have researched hair transplantation for quite some time, for probably over several years. I've known about Eugenix over that period of time, and so it was a build-up to finally get here. With COVID and with everything else that's been going on, it was a challenge to get here. Eugenix has helped me every step of the way, from obtaining the medical visa and everything that I could expect from a consultative standpoint. I think made the classic mistake that most people make. Where I looked at all the clinics that were local to me, and there might have been like 4 or 5 different clinics that I looked at, and realized after having a bad consultation with them that it wasn't for me. They were very sales driven, very marketing driven. The results were average at best. And the cost was astronomical. And so, I'm glad that I didn't buy into it back then and sign on the dotted line, because that could have been something that ultimately I would have regretted. So I went back to the drawing board. I decided, let me educate myself as much as possible on the hair transplantation process itself, because I knew all about hair loss prevention, but I didn't know a lot about hair transplantation. And so I hit the internet. I researched as much as I could. I got myself involved in different forums. Hair Restoration Forum was one that I spent a lot of time on. I spent a lot of time on other ones as well. But Hair Restoration Forum, I spent quite a bit of time on. And they went through a lot of different cases, use cases, straight away from Eugenix, but also from obviously many others, right? I just reviewed everybody's story, right? Because everybody's telling a story about, what they've gone through with hair loss, right, from beginning to end. I chose Dr. Arika for that very reason, right? I call her my hairline queen because she's amazing at what she does. The temples look perfect. And more than just a hairline, also the temple points. I couldn't find very many clinics at all that actually did a lot of work with temples. And so that was very important to me, because the older you are, and I'm 49, the older you are, the more those start to recede back. And I did notice that there were a lot of other results where you'd see good hair transplants, right, with older candidates, but temple points that weren't worked on, and it doesn't look natural in my opinion. So that was one thing that was important to me. I wanted to make sure that the clinic that I chose was very good at that, and it's a tricky thing to do because the angle has to be just perfect. You need to choose the hair from the nape of the neck. It has to blend in with the existing hairs that are there at the temple, and it's the first thing that you see on the side of somebody's face. I'm very excited to get this procedure done. I want to thank Dr. Arika in advance for doing an awesome job. But anyway, more to come on that, and thank you very much. Appreciate it. Yeah, it's been a long day. This is, again, the first time that I've gone through a hair transplant procedure. What an incredible experience this has been. You know, I can only imagine what it's like at other clinics, but I can only tell you the experience that I had here at Eugenix. You know, I guess the only thing I could really compare it to is, you know, orchestrating a symphony. That's really what it feels like more than anything. There's just so many things that go into this, right? Especially when you're working in a team environment. I've had a number of different techs and surgeons that have worked, you know, on my head today, and I think that really embodies what Eugenix is all about. That care and compassion, and the fact that they can do that, except now it's on a mass scale, right? You're not just dealing with one organ, you're dealing with thousands of little ones. So highly impressed, and I'm really looking forward to the final result. So I just finished with my hair transplant procedure with Eugenix, and you know, I truly believe that it was another textbook performance by Eugenix, just doing an exceptional job. They made me feel very comfortable throughout the whole experience. I can't, you know, begin to tell you how many times they asked me how I was feeling, if I was okay, if I needed anything. And again, all the hands touching me, it's not a situation where I just wanted Dr. Arika doing the procedure and I didn't want other techs doing some of the things that I wanted her to do. I felt comfortable with everybody. And you know, I think this sums it up, because I got this book from the doctor. She was nice enough to give this to me, and I made a nice connection with her. You know, we both have a lot of spirituality, so I think that was part of the connection. But you know, I believe that you really truly become part of the family at Eugenix, and you know, that's exactly how I feel. That's really how I feel. You know, thank you, Dr. Arika, for all that you do for, you know, the care and the compassion and the expertise and professionalism that you showed me today. Thank you for this amazing job that you did. You gave me the greatest gift that I could have asked for after multiple decades of waiting. So again, I want to thank you for that.